Peace, y'all. So I'm back with another really quick video. Somebody asked me a question about a history assignment that they have, which is another lane that I forgot that I own, but I got y'all on that too. But in answering that question, some other things came up. There were tips around particularly how you new schoolers can navigate these reading, writing, and history assignments.
Too. Black diarrhea.
The first tip is pretty easy. It's to pace out your days. The students in Georgia and Florida and in Louisiana so far, and what I've noticed that a lot of y'all have a couple of days to carry out your assignments. That's a blessing. Take advantage of it as much as you can. I'm a procrastinator too, so I understand. Push it off till you got to do it. I get it. But particularly if it's something that you don't like to do or you don't feel that you're really good at, give yourself a lot of days for it. So homegirl who I just assisted, say she had about 4 days to complete this assignment and it had about 8 questions. So I would say do two questions per day. You know what I mean? Or do all the read the entire thing in one day and break it down and understand it, and then go back and divvy out the questions. You actually probably used to hear this in school sometimes too, but read the questions first. So when I was helping her with her assignment, it's a lot of terms because there was a lot of names in there. It's a lot of dates in there. It's a lot of new terms you probably never heard of or you're not really familiar with in there. And that comes with the territory of usually writing assignments and history assignments. But when you read your questions first, they kind of give you an opportunity to realize what you need to pay attention to and what you don't. So in her assignment, one of the names was Slater. But if you look at the questions, none of the questions ask nothing about nobody's name and didn't ask nothing about Slater. So when she's reading about that, it's like subconsciously our brain tries to pick up on as much stuff as we can, and it's capitalized stuff in numbers is what your brain really try to pick up on. So when you read the questions first, you are programming your brain to know what to pay attention to, especially, and what not to worry about. Third tip is to look up what you don't know and reread that sucker until you get it. So for example, her particular assignment was about the Industrial Revolution. The very first sentence had that in there. You can't continue reading on if you don't know what that is. She could have kept reading and maybe by the second paragraph she would have got it. If so, cool. But if you don't, pause, go somewhere else, go to Google, especially because you read them questions first and you know that's going to be an important topic in your question. Go off to Google. Schools say that Wikipedia is not a credible source. And for your papers, I agree. It may not be a credible source for that. However, but just for working knowledge of something, that's just to get just to get an idea of what it is so that you can move on and comprehend it, understand it, and go on with your assignment, Wikipedia is great. Or even if you can find a YouTube video of somebody explaining it and breaking it down to you, kind of like I am, and I will be with the Industrial Revolution soon, that's even better. And don't move on to another paragraph until you understand the one that you just read. Don't move on to another sentence until you understand the one that you just read. Got it? Good. So say you done went to Google, you done asked Siri and everybody else like about this particular term, subject, whatever, and you still don't understand it, ask your teacher/professor. That's what they get paid for. And for the last tip number 5, and this is for history lessons. I can't imagine it being for anything else but history lessons right now. And that's to, as much as you can, whenever you can, try to set the event in a timeline. So going back to the Industrial Revolution, that took place in the 1700s, around mid 1700s. The American Revolution was taking place at that time. So we was also beefing with Britain during that same time. Now, I also placed, because I know slavery ended in 1865. So in my mind, I knew that, okay, so the Industrial Revolution took place while my people were enslaved. And at that same time, we were also beefing with Britain during that time. So the Declaration of Independence took place during the Industrial Revolution. So it might seem like you don't do a lot for you, but it actually kind of give you a little bit more of a working knowledge. But particularly for me, like I already knew about the Industrial Revolution before I started the assignment, but knowing that slavery was taking place at the same time, I Googled that specific thing, the Industrial Revolution and slavery. And so in going into that, it gave me like a whole nother rabbit hole to kind of go down. And I would pick up on things that her assignment also mentioned. And so it kind of gave me a deeper knowledge of what I was working with. So that kind of helps you a lot. So I hope this whole video helped you, Buku. If it did, and you want to show your gratitude in the form of currency, I'm dropping my Cash App below. Much gratitude to you for tuning in and trusting me to guide you through this thing. And again, if you have any questions, any even specific questions about your own particular assignment, ask me and I got you.